All right, December to remember, day 11. I'm excited you're here. I go live on my personal page and then we upload it to the YouTube channel, which is probably the easiest place for replays. So yesterday for December to remember, and this is just the way the universe works. Once you are familiar with the pattern, because everything, that was scary. My phone clipped out of the holder. Once you are, and that's how the universe talks to me. Like, I swear, I'll have a thought and then I'll get a ding, ding, ding on my text. And it's like the universe is like, good job, confirm. Like when, it's just anything that happens, like nothing is not without purpose or reason. Like once we understand that the universe is speaking to us 24/7, I mean, we might call this, schizophrenia. When the billboards are talking to you, when the radio is talking to you, when the TV is talking to you. But when we can understand that there are messages coming all the time from our guides, from gods, from source, like that's when it's easier to become more aligned with what it is that you want in your life, and to see that you are always fully supported. But anyway, so once you understand the pattern of the universe, so one of the things I had talked about on one of the best December to remembers, I believe it was like day 8 or 9. And I talked about my manifestation process for what it is that I'm doing in December to remember to manifest $1 million. And what does it look like? Because it doesn't look like writing out a plan and generating thoughts and trying to follow this plan and sticking to it and hustling my butt off. What it looks like is I make a declaration of what it is that I want to manifest. I want to manifest $1 million in this month. Would love it to be this month. And then I allow the universe to tell me what it is that I need to do with insights, people, situations, whatever may come to me. I want it's inspired action, not generated thought action. And I talked about how when you declare that you want to manifest something and go after it, the universe is going to give you an opportunity to say, are you sure? And this is like a test of sorts, where it's not so much a test like pass or fail, but it's like, if you want this thing, it's going to require this level of growth. It's going to require this level of holding emotions. It's going to mean that you're going to have to grow this much. So it's not so much a test, are you ready? Ha ha ha, pass or fail. It's more like, in order for you to manifest the thing that you're manifesting, it's going to require you to grow this much, expand this much, and hold this much space. So we're going to give you a little taste of that. We're going to give you a little opportunity of that, so you can let us know if you're ready or not to manifest the thing that you want to manifest. So it's not so much a test as it is an opportunity for you to see if you are ready to grow into what it is that you are asking and manifesting for. And if it's not, cool, let it go. Like, no big deal. Just go after something else or whatever it is. Like, you will be rerouted to whatever is more in alignment with you. Because sometimes we try to manifest something that we're actually not in alignment with. And so we'll receive information from the universe as a test of sorts that let us know that's not actually what we want. And so sometimes we don't get what we want to manifest because it's not actually what we want on our highest version of us, our highest timeline. It may just be something our little human ego thinks we need right now. So anyway, yesterday in December to remember, I talked about I want to be a mature woman, and that sometimes I struggle with feeling like a little girl, and that I am seeking this maturity within me. And so, of course, today was a day that said, are you sure? How mature would you like to be? And so I had an opportunity to a few different people, a few different ways in my life, to be able to hold the space of maturity. And I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of how I handled, what I spoke about and what I did and how I did it. And there's been times in my past where instead of having a sense of maturity and owning, like, I am responsible for me and my actions, I am not responsible for you and your actions. I'm not responsible how you receive what it is that I say. That's on you, because everyone has their own perception. Everyone has their own filters. And I cannot be responsible for the way in which people filter what I say. I'm responsible for what I say, but not how you interpret it through your filter. But I used to care deeply about how other people felt. And I would change who I was, what I was doing, or what I was saying so that I could keep someone's feelings feeling good. Like, it was more important for me to make sure that other people felt okay around me than how I felt being myself. Like other people's feelings, other people's emotions, other people's state of mind, other people's happiness was more important than my own. But, and this is like a people-pleasing type of thing, but people-pleasing is actually super manipulative. Like if I'm saying, in order for me to be okay, I have to make sure you're okay. So now you have to be okay so that I'm okay. It's actually a manipulative type of thing when you dig into it. But anyway, I used to care a lot about not hurting people because I have been hurt. I have been hurt by people. I have experienced things that I don't want to experience, but being a business owner, doing the things that I do, I now have to do certain things that can potentially hurt people, but it's not my responsibility to hold their feelings. I have to take care of myself, my business, my family, my pocketbook, my situation. And and decisions that I make based on that can impact other people and hurt other people. But that's them. That's their journey. I can no longer make other people's state of emotions be more important than what I need to do to take care of myself, my family, my business, my bank account. And I believe that that's a mature woman who's able to be able to do that, to be able to say, well, this is the business. This is what's going on. If you're not right for this, you're not right for this. Let's just call that shot. Let's just make that statement clear. And it's not, it's not that I don't care about you. It's not that I don't love you as a human, but this is a business thing. And these are the decisions that have to be made. This is what has to happen. And that's just one example today. There's multiple examples in which the universe said, are you ready? Because I even had somebody who's probably potentially watching this video who reached out to me about saying, I can help you with that. I can take care of that. There was just no part of me that felt drawn to this person in terms of working with them. But how do I say no? Like, I want to help you. I can do that. I can help you. I can do this. And I didn't know fully exactly what they're offering, but I really go off of like how I feel aligned with the person. If I feel aligned with what they've got going on and what they're saying, I go after that. So I had no interest in engaging further in that conversation. So I was like, how do I word this? How do I state this? How do I politely, but also firmly state, I am not interested? So I'm like, I am not interested. I'm just simply not interested. And I didn't feel like I had to go through like all of these explanations and like trying to, put gloves on as I said what I said so that it's like the softer blow. Like, it's just like, no, I'm just going to state my honesty. And perhaps that was exactly what I needed with this person to feel or to work through the being a mature woman, because that's what I desire within my life. I have felt so long, for such a long time, that I'm basically just being run by a teenager in my body. And that happens a lot when you've experienced a lot of trauma in your life. And a lot of my trauma came in when I was a teenager at the boarding school in Montana. And you kind of get like stuck at this age level of when you experience that stuff. And so I was not taught how to handle my emotions. I was not taught that we need to be aware of our emotions. I was not taught how to regulate my emotions. I was not taught how to handle my nervous system. And so I'm just running around like a teenager a lot of the times. And that's where there was a big struggle between me and my adopted daughter. Was I was functioning like an abused teenager, but I was the one in charge. Like, that's not fair for me. I didn't know what I was doing. But again, no, we didn't have any understanding of emotional intelligence. That was not even a word. Like, I was talking today with someone about, therapy. And it was like, therapy is important. We need to go to therapy if you have unresolved issues, if you are not enjoying your day to day, something has to change. And therapy is one way to go about that. And I was like, when I remember being younger, and it was like hush, hush whisper about that person in therapy. It was like, oh my God, if they're in therapy, like there's something terribly wrong with them. And in my mind now, what I know, I'm like, if they're going to therapy, something is incredibly right with them. Like, they are desiring to be more in charge of their life. They are desiring to be a better person. But when I was younger, the talk about therapy was like, you're an if you have to go to therapy, there's something horribly, terribly, awfully wrong with you. And we hush whisper about it. We can't just boldly say we go to therapy. Like, I have like 7 therapists, more like 2 now, up to 3 sometimes. I am so excited to talk about therapy, and I recommend my therapist. The more, work you can do in that way, that's amazing. I think it's awesome. But there was a time not that long ago where going to therapy meant that you were just awful and terrible and crazy and insane and whatever. Now, to me, therapy is you're no longer willing to be crazy. I think you're crazy not to go to therapy, given the way that the world is. I mean, all of it. If you went to public school, you need therapy. Like, it's just that simple. And it doesn't have to fully be immensely therapy. I really love the way Melanie Ann Layer talked about it. She said for her, therapy was not productive, but she also did other forms of healing that were very productive, and a lot of, education, personal development, and stuff like that. So she said for some people, therapy is the way to go. For other people, it's a different route. Never, allow people to have what works for them. What works for me is therapy. So I'm going to say a lot of people who are listening to me, if you relate to me, if you connect with me and resonate with me, you're probably one of the people who would benefit from therapy. Now, granted, there is like a million different types of therapy. The traditional therapy that most of us are like is just talk therapy, where you just go and you vent and you talk. That's not the therapy I'm talking about. I'm talking about therapy where you actually do the work. Like in therapy today, one of the topics I wanted to talk about was David. Like, I am working through my ability to communicate with my husband. I was not raised around healthy relationships. Not one single healthy relationship as a child did I witness in the adults around me. So how would I know how to have a healthy relationship? Because I've never seen one. I've never been shown one. I've never seen how people communicate in a healthy, respectful, mature manner. It's not been something that's been in my experience. And so I'm still learning how to do that, how to communicate with my husband in a way where we both feel empowered and that we're working together as a team, and not that we're, antsy with each other. So traditional talk therapy would you be going in complaining about how I said this, and then he said this, and then I said this, and then he said this, and then I said this, and then he said this, and then I said this, and then he said this. That's not what I'm talking about. The therapy is we are struggling with our communication. What are some things and steps that I can do? What are some immediate things that I can implement today when I go talk to him the next time? Like, it's not about venting and just spouting off and talking, because all that stuff is surface level anyway. All that stuff is just little, like my sister says, it's like the little details. What's underneath that? What's underneath that is we're both feeling not heard. We're both, misunderstanding. Do we want the other to feel misheard and misunderstood? No, like, we deeply want to connect with each other. We deeply care about each other. And we both know that, and we both feel that. And we're both desiring to do the work so that we can move forward from that. So when I say therapy, I don't mean just go talk and complain. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about do the work, learn the skills, figure out what it is you need to do, and take ownership of your shit. We all have stuff. Like I get defensive. When somebody says something, I've gotten defensive. Today I had a big exercise in how defensive are you going to get? I think I slipped up maybe a couple of times, but I mostly held it. I wasn't focused on defense. So, yes, I acknowledge I get defensive when David talks to me. I turn into a little girl if he starts to raise his voice, because that's what my father did to me, was try to get me to feel like a little girl. Like, I'm acknowledging the stuff that I have wrong with me. I'm not just David this, David that, David this, David that, David this, David that. I'm like, me this, me that, me this, me that. Because the only person I can control is myself anyway. I can't make David change. I can't make him do something different. I can hopefully inspire him to change or do something different, but I can't make him change. The only thing I can change is myself. So if I'm not loving the way that my relationship is going, the thing I need to work on is myself. Go inward with myself. Figure it out on my side. Because he may choose to go to therapy or not go to therapy. And I have seen it firsthand that when one person begins to do the work and is really dedicated to doing the work, things just begin to improve whether the other person shows up or not. Like it's possible that things can begin to shift and change when you are dedicated to doing the work. So, but anyway, the biggest thing I wanted to share today was that when you make a declaration of what it is that you want, the universe is going to present you with opportunities to say, are you sure? And I got that today. You want to be a mature woman? Are you sure? Here's what it's going to look like. Here's what it's going to feel like. Here's what it's going to require of you to hold these abilities. And here's what it's going to, here's how it's going to stretch your capacity. You're going to have to be stretched. Are you ready to be stretched? Because here's an opportunity where it's going to stretch you, and being able to hold through that without, and this goes back to another December I remember I talked about, is when you're going through a struggle, when you're going through a conflict, when you're going through one of these experiences where you're being stretched your capacity to what it is you can hold, is not thinking that everything is going to shit. If I'm going through this and then thinking that my business is bad because I'm doing this, or if I'm judging myself, like the earth is moody. We get to have moods. Okay. It's not, I am positively happy all the single time, every single day. I never have a low vibe. I never am angry. I'm never mad. I'm always positive. I'm always happy. Like that's not reality. That may be like what I put pictures on my Facebook, but if you don't have the discernment to realize that you're seeing 15 seconds of a 24-hour day, and you think that 15 seconds represents my entire life, that's a you problem, not my problem, because I'm human. So I'm gonna have stuff. I'm gonna have moods. I'm gonna have moments where I'm sad. I'm gonna have moments where I feel angry. I'm gonna have moments where I don't use the best words, where I have conflict with my spouse, where I have conflict with the people in my life, where I have to learn how to deal with that stuff. I'm willing to learn to deal with that stuff. So when the universe was like, you want to be a mature woman, let me give you a handful of opportunities today in which you can express your maturity. Are you ready to step up to the plate? I was like, yes, I will. And it was honestly quite amazing today. Today was an amazing day. It was a very, normally with the different things that I dealt with today, and there was multiple things, that I dealt with today, it would have been an emotional wreck day. It would have been like, take me out day. It would have been like, I'm exhausted for the next 3 days. Don't talk to me. I'm going to curl up in my bed type of day. But I was like, no, I got stuff to do. I got things to take care of. And the biggest thing that would have knocked me out was how my emotional reaction to this situation. Making a distinction between I have to take care of myself and the other person is their person and they have to take care of themselves. I am not responsible for their feelings. I am not responsible for how they react. I am not responsible for any of that. I have to take care of myself, my family, my business, my paycheck, my whatever, bank account, whatever. I cannot be responsible for how they feel about that. Like it is what it is. Those are carrying the weight of someone else's emotions is what used to weigh me down, is what used to feel like this crazy emotional roller coaster. But one of the things I also really desire is emotional mastery, is being able to not allow anyone or anything change how I feel without my choice. Like, I don't want someone else's anger or someone else's frustration or someone else's sadness to trigger, I have to now be sad because they're sad. I have to be angry because they're angry. I have to, we generally will match people's thing, but that's kind of a codependent thing. Like I shared the other day, I was watching that therapist clip and it said, how do you know you're in a codependent relationship? You're in a happy mood, your spouse walks in a bad mood, and now you're in a bad mood. You're codependent. I'm like, fuck. Because David's emotions can affect my emotions. And I would like to be a person where I am not affected by someone's emotions. Now, it's not to say if David's sad that I'm not going to sit there and tap into that with him and be able to hold him and understand he's in sadness. I'm going to be like, oh, your friend died. Well, who cares? I'm happy. So you have to be happy too. It's not about that, but it's like saying if I am holding, happiness or excitement for something, I can still keep that and hold and honor his sadness without causing whatever he's doing to bring down my situation. I want that emotional mastery. And today was an emotional gym. And I honestly didn't break a sweat. And I'm pretty happy about that. Which just means I had to realize that it means that I have hit a new level, but 2, there's another level. Your workout always is going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So while I may have mastered this level of playground and emotional gym that I'm at, I know there's always another emotional gym. There is always another extra layer of workout that you have to do emotionally and mentally. Yes, universe, I am ready. I can handle it. So yes, so today was an emotional gym in which I did not break a sweat, which I'm super proud of, super amazing. Progress and growth, 744 right now, heck yes. And being able to master the maturity and the way that I speak to people. I had multiple people, multiple opportunities today where I was like, I get to express my emotional maturity. I get to express as an emotional woman. Am I going to choose her, or am I going to default to, being weighed down by other people's emotions and care more about what they're thinking and what they're feeling than what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling? Because at the end of the day, again, I can only control what I think and feel. Even if I attempted to satisfy another person with everything that they wanted, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to be satisfied anyway. Because other people are fickle, and other people, there's so many other things we don't know about that person potentially that impacts who they are and how they're showing up. So if I try to exert all of my energies to change another person or to keep another person happy, there's no guarantee that there's going to be a good outcome. But I can guarantee that if I'm focused on myself and taking care of myself, that I can control the outcome. Because the only person we can't control is ourselves. We cannot make other people change. We cannot yell at them to change. We cannot convince them to change. I mean, maybe, I don't know, convincing, I guess. But like at the end of the day, I am in charge of my happiness. And you are in charge of your happiness. And I can encourage you, I can share things with you, but I can't just poke a button on you and make you tap into your happy. You are the only one who can control those buttons for yourself. And another thing, I don't want my mood to be dependent upon someone else's mood. I want to be able to choose my mood and how I feel and what I'm going through, and not have it be reliant upon someone else. That if David can walk in the door and change my emotional state in a negative way where I feel like I don't have control over it, that's something I need to work on. And that is something that I am working on. And our relationships are always the best place to show us what it is that we need to work on. Because another conversation that I had today was, you were on the phone with that other person and you showed immense patience, but you lacked that patience with David. Yes, this is true. 100%. And it is because our intimate relationships are one of the closest, most intimate places in which it brings up the stuff that we have to work through. Eckhart Tolle says your relationship is not to make you happy, it is to make you conscious. It is to wake you up. Your relationship is like the when you're like flatlining and they electrocute you with the paddles to wake you up. Like our souls are here on earth, not realizing that they're the creators of their reality. And your relationship is like trying to wake you up. Like, hey, take conscious control of who you are. Hey, take conscious control of your thoughts. Hey, take conscious control of your breathing. Like you are an immense, internal, amazing, incredible soul here to experience life on this planet in one snippet of an iteration that is this massively immense internal thing, and you're all super focused on this one exact instance of your life. Like wake up. In our relationships with our intimate partners tends to be the place where we get mirrored back the most, that we need to wake up. And this is like, it was another conversation, like, divorcing. Now, in no way am I talking about divorcing David. That's not the conversation that I'm having right now. But the idea of divorcing without doing the work, right? So we just talked about going to therapy, doing the work. Going to therapy is not venting. That's what you do to a friend, in a safe space, asking, can I vent on you? Yes, you can vent on me. If you go to a therapy just to vent and you're not actually taking back skills and things that you can do, things that you can implement, and you're not doing therapy, you're just talking for an hour. Do the actual work. But in a relationship, to me, it's like, and I get it. What am I? Twice divorced now. The pattern of your relationship will continue to be the pattern of your relationship from one person to the next. unless you decide to break the pattern. Breaking up with the person doesn't break the pattern. You can repeat pattern after pattern with partner over and over again. I don't desire to find another partner because unless I've changed my pattern. If I'm repeating the same pattern, finding a new partner will make absolutely no difference. I'll just repeat the pattern. I'll just be in the same situation I am with the next person. So when I find someone like this David, because you know my history, I've had 3. Last husband was also named David. The absurdity of it all. Also teaches you the power of mantras and affirmations, because I made affirmation statements like, David and I have the best relationship ever. And that was one of the statements I was declaring and manifesting. So of course, if I'm going to be with the next person, his name is also David, because I literally was manifesting him. But anyway, what was I going to say? This David, he wants to do the work. Like I literally just sent him a thing about healing family relationships. And I was like, it's Monday at 7 p.m. He's like, great. Like, we'll be there. Like his willingness to be like, yes, I also want to show up differently. Yes, I didn't learn how to have healthy communication. Yes, let's figure this out. Yes, let's go for it. When you find when your partner is willing to break the patterns with you, that's freaking golden. Like, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes. That I have an amazing partner who is like, let's break these freaking patterns. Because one of the biggest reasons I'm out here, one of the biggest reasons I come on camera and I talk about all my stuff, all my shit. I said shit before. When I talk about all my stuff and I'm so visible and I'm so out here and I'm sharing all my stuff with everyone, it's not about making money. It's about changing the next generations. It's about breaking the curses that we're carrying from years past of trauma that's been just passed on and passed on and passed on and passed on. Like we know that trauma travels through DNA. And we know that trauma travels through energy. Women as a collective, we all have this energy. As I'm doing healing work, it's not just healing me, but it's healing generations past. As I do healing work, I see changes happen in my mom and happen in my grandma. Things that I haven't seen ever about them be different. And as I do work, I see them change. I see them grow. I see them evolve. And it's amazing. And it's just me doing work. I see my sister doing work, and it changes our family. But the biggest reason I'm out here talking my stuff, sharing with the world, is I want to stop passing on these patterns. I want to stop passing on this stuff. And a byproduct of doing the work is being able to make a lot of money, which is freaking awesome and amazing. Hallelujah. Celebrate, because it changes the financial situation of our family for generations to come. But more important than changing the financial situation of generations to come, I want to change the emotional health, the mental health of generations to come. Like it's so important to me that I change who I am being from the programmed and the conditioned version of me that I was when I grew up. All I knew is what my parents allowed me to know and understand. That's it. We didn't have the internets to be able to see other people talk about stuff and understand mental illness and understand emotional health and understand, different things. Like kids today get to know what gaslighting means and how your parents could be nobody taught me that. Everyone said, shut up and listen to your parents. How dare you speak out against them? How dare you say they're doing anything wrong? Okay. I don't think my dad's supposed to yell at me and hit me like, shut up. Shut up. You're a kid. You got to listen to your parents. You got to do what they say. How dare you? You're just a child. Now they're all empowered with the internet. They're like, I'm not a child. I'm a human. We didn't get to be human as children. We got to be subservient little shits. You should be seen, not heard. You don't have a voice. Bang. Confirmation from the universe. Hey, shh. That's enough. Zill. He's a big boy. He's a little tiny chihuahua acting like he's a big old dog. Zill. It was just the door. Settle down. Big protector. I love that little dog. The door banged again. It's windy out. we as a child, like, you were not allowed at all to say that your parents were doing anything wrong or not, or could have been doing better. Sit down, shut up, listen to me. And now the baby's going off. So I'm going to let you all go. I love you so much. December to remember, day 11, all about manifesting $1 million in 1 month. Love it to be this month, but showing you the journey of what it looks like on the way of doing that. So I love you all. I'm going to let you go. Baby's crying. Have an amazing night. Bye. Catch you tomorrow.